How's it going, YouTube? Coincidence today with another video, and today, guys, the video is going to be the side guide post Blazing Dominion. And I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't already noticed, there is a different background today. It's because I'm really going to deck out my office. I just moved my computer. I have another computer in here now. I have two different desks. I have multiple monitors. I'm trying to figure out where everything needs to go and where my background needs to go, my lighting needs to go. I'm really trying to figure out how my new desk and my new office and everything is going to kind of like fit together, you know? So really excited for that. The job's going really well. Thank you all for the support. I know a lot of you out there have commented as well that you're still looking for work and the job market's rough. You know, I'm fortunate enough to be able to have secured a position, but I'm rooting for each and every one of you. I know you guys can do it. I appreciate each and every one of you for the support. Thank you all so very much because it honestly means the world. And I know that the rest of you that are still looking for work will find it, and life will get better for everyone. So thank you. And if you haven't already checked out my sponsors or in Gem, Cloud, Arlagames, Imperium, Dragonshield, MainPhaze, and Grimoire, definitely go ahead and do so down below in the description. Definitely go ahead and check out my METAFY for some one-on-one coaching. And then subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so we can hit our goal at 30,000. Definitely continue to like the videos so we can push through the algorithm and reach the masses. I would really appreciate it, and thank you all so much for the ongoing support. Without further ado, let's talk about some side cards. The first one I have for today is going to be some absolute blowouts. So, DieFi, better known as Dimensional Fissure, alongside Different Dimension Ground or D-Ground, both very crazy side cards, both bangers, right? Like, these cards are crazy. Out of everything that got limited, how are these not limited, right? Like, these cards are absurd. If Shifter is limited, these should also be limited, you know? So, this is something where if you can play these cards, obviously you should, especially for next format. Just don't let things touch the graveyard, right? Against things like Cool Tune especially, that deck is just going to have a really bad time against these. So make sure that these are in your sideboard because they're going to be impactful. Same with Mistaken Arrest. This card is absolutely busted, right? Alongside things like Droll. And, you know, there are cards like Deck Lockdown still that are also going to be fairly okay. So, the Mistaken Arrest and DieFi alone, though, are the two cards that you definitely should be running 100% of the time if you can. Some decks can't. But if you can, these are the cards that absolutely should be in your deck. Even if you search a lot. Even if you search a lot. You do your entire combo, set Mistaken Arrest, win the game. GG. Like, I got beat the other day because I got drolled, but then they also had Mistaken Arrest, and I was like, oh, like I wasn't beating that, you know? Like, maybe I can play it on the droll. I cannot beat the Mistaken Arrest, you know, that's rough. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. These are the cards you want to be running because they could just be an auto win. Now, something to consider is Lancia. I think this is a very wonderful 3 of in the sideboard, especially the fact that Lunalight's getting more support now. We just saw it's in the new modern decks that we're going to get. And these are still going to be situations that come up that you want Lancia for. Lunalight's not going anywhere. Even if Liger gets limited, the deck's going to come back. And Lancia fixes a lot of the issues that Lunalight gives you. Same with Malice. Malice is probably not going to get hit again. They already had Binder Band. A lot of the cards are already hit. I'd be surprised if this deck got hit again. Maybe they like limit backup or something. I don't know. I don't really necessarily think that it needs a hit. I'm okay with this deck just being like a good deck, right? It's not like the best, but I mean, it's not bad. It is not bad. But Lancia is here to answer a lot of these scenarios that could be problematic. So this is a card that if you have room for it, you might want to side Lancia. Now, if I have ever seen a more underrated, undervalued card, I'd be lying. Illusion Gate is fantastic. Yes, it's bellable, Regeki, but the amount of utility this card just gives you is kind of wild. Being able to summon back a monster, not only is it not negated, but you also get it on your board, and it could be an 8 for like a vampire. It could be something that you link off of something else doing like a Dark Charmer and bring it back again, right? And then be able to link climb. This card serves so many purposes, and especially in something like a mirror match, being able to like nuke your opponent's board, bring back something that's going to be powerful for you, right? So it's very, very cool, and it's definitely a very unique card. And it's something that we really need to start playing more of. Regeki alone has always been a pretty crazy effect, but now we're adding effects to Regeki. Like, what are we doing? You know? Card is very, very strong, and I implore you to play one of it even in your side, especially if you're playing Thrust. This is a card that should be around. It's very strong. The next one here is going to be the Solemns. we're all not new to Solemn theory, right? Play one warning, one report, one judgment. Report's very good. It's chain disappearance for spells and traps. I think this card is really underrated right now as far as what people are talking about, hyping it up. But playing free warning isn't bad either. And the OCG right now on this format that they're having, they're citing multiple copies of warning. And warning is just generically good. It's 2,000, which really isn't even that much, to just like stop a problematic situation, right? And I really don't hate that. I think that it's a really good decision. A lot of people are not playing Lightning Storm, and a lot of people are not playing Duster. So your back row is staying a lot longer. Until this changes, this is a really solid card to want to run right now. Just having warning around is always going to be a pretty good bet. My favorite Cool Tune counter is just calling Dweller. Dweller against Cool Tune is absolutely insane. Rip Inscription, say no graveyard effects. All of a sudden, that deck becomes a lot less scary. No monster pops, no spell pops, no looking at your hand, no new synchro going to the grave and ripping 2. Like, there's a lot of benefits to playing this card against something like Cool Tune. And it's pretty cheap right now, so that's something where if you want to pick up your nice copies or what have you, this might be a pretty good future investment. This is something that I'm thinking is going to be a really crazy card into the new format. And yes, we're getting a lot of cards in the game now that are like Heatwave, Soundproof, Gravekeeper's Inscription, the cards that are all starting in phase 1. And yes, it sucks and it has diminishing value if you see it afterward, but if you see it, this card is just so good. Right, like, the card is so broken. So that's something where it is high risk, high reward, but this is a card that I would highly consider for next format. But if we're talking about my number one, my overall pick for next format, it's gotta be Book of Eclipse. I think that this card is coming back crazy. I think that this card is very, very strong. And being able to just like chain it to situations where your opponent's like trying to synchro, going to synchro, if your opponent's on like Doom Z, right? Like, there's so many situations where like you're in what feels like an impossible scenario and you can just like flip Eclipse and just like stop your opponent's turn or heavily interrupt them. And you could play Daruma Cannon because it works better in a Towers-esque monsters, including things like Liger, which is definitely very good. But as a going second option, you definitely want something like Eclipse. And you can always play like Thrust in your deck if you already are, side the Daruma at 1 and then play like Eclipse. So you have like the going first and the going second option for like at least outing at Towers. But I think overall, having the Eclipse is going to be really impactful for next format. Now, one card that I could definitely see being a lot more popular if Cool Tune really does become like a tier 1 heavy threat, right? And that's something that is just like the most played deck. We see it all the time. That's going to be Metatronus. This card could make a comeback, which I would not be surprised to see. Now, the other one too is maybe this is the format we finally see Mermaid Outfitters. That would be definitely interesting. That card is still very strong. At some point in time, that card is going to be broken or banned, right? Like, that card is Lullaby of Obedience on crack. But like, at the same time, if we really start seeing the tier 1 strategies pop out and they're like head of the pack, I could definitely see Metatronus being a new card again in the format, being extremely popular and extremely relevant. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, definitely check out my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll check you all next video. Thank you.